Hi there, welcome. This is Shruti, and in today's video, I'm sharing how you can use Pinterest for business so that you can get more traffic, leads, and sales this year. So first things first, why should you even be using Pinterest for your business? Now, the first and most obvious reason why you should be considering using Pinterest for your business is because of the large and growing global user base. So not only are Pinterest users based in the US, which accounts for about 20% of the users, but a large majority of around 80% is actually based in other countries around the world. There are about 440 million monthly users that are using Pinterest every single month, running up to 2 billion searches every single month as well. Not only this, on Pinterest, shopping is actually a top priority for Pinterest users just after viewing photos, whereas on platforms like Facebook, for example, it is not even in the top 5 priorities. This means that if you have a global audience and you have a product to sell, then you should start leveraging Pinterest like right now. The next question really is, what types of businesses are best suited for Pinterest? Now, Pinterest is best suited for media or publishing companies, bloggers, e-commerce brands and businesses, as well as lifestyle related businesses. Now, this doesn't mean that your business is not going to do well on Pinterest, but it just might mean that your target audience might be a little bit smaller than some of the more bigger lifestyle related businesses, such as home decor or travel. So let's hop over to the Pinterest platform and actually show you what are the top categories on Pinterest right now. So you can see what are the top 16 categories on Pinterest if you simply head to this tab, which is pinterest.com/ideas, another /. You will see what are the top categories that generally perform well on Pinterest. But of course, this doesn't mean that these are the only categories or the only types of accounts that do well. It's just the top 16 categories on Pinterest. So when you click through to one of these categories, you can see more about what are the trending articles as well as trending searches on that particular topic. So for holidays, of course, it is a huge thing on Pinterest because a lot of people are planning for inspiration. They're looking for gifts on holidays and they're just generally looking for cool things to do, let's say with their family or with their kids. So you can see, for example, that all of these areas or aspects are trending, such as family activities, homemade cards, appetizers, etc. And you can also look at the top Pinterest searches so that you can see if you can create content in these particular searches and get your content as well as your products discovered for the audience that is looking for it. So if your business falls into one of these 16 categories, that simply means that you have a higher probability of success on Pinterest and you also have a larger target audience, but it doesn't mean that your business doesn't exist or cannot benefit from Pinterest. So if your niche is, let's say, not in these top categories, I have another way for you in which you can find out whether or not it's worth your while to actually spend time on Pinterest. So what you can do is you can simply go on your Pinterest search bar. You can type in, let's say, personal finance. Let's say you are someone who is interested in talking about the stock market and you want to see if this is something that would do well on Pinterest. So the first search by default is going to be all pins, which are going to be all the images that are trending in this particular domain. But what you can also do here to figure out whether or not Pinterest is worth your time is to actually filter your search by people. And when you do that, you're going to find all the top accounts in personal finance space, which are of various sizes. So you'll see accounts which have, let's say, just been made. You'll see accounts which are established. And all this to say that this is a way for you to dig a little deeper and figure out whether or not Pinterest is the right platform for you. So let's say that we, go into one of these accounts and see what are the kind of people that are following it, what is the kind of reach that these people have. So From Pennies to Plenty is an account which has around 168,000 monthly viewers as well as 20,000 followers. So that's a decent amount of followers, which means that this particular topic of personal finance probably has a decent amount of demand on Pinterest. You can also click through and see some of the bigger accounts, and as you can see, this one is a massive established account. They have 8.6 million monthly viewers and they have close to 62,000 followers. Now, stats like this would be virtually impossible for people to have, especially on platforms like Facebook or Instagram, where organic reach is pretty curtailed and is not something really that happens or really exists anymore. Whereas on Pinterest, people are still able to reach millions and millions of people for absolutely free. So this website / business here, as you can see, is on budgeting, and I guess they are about family budgeting as well. And they talk about financial tips. So if you're someone who is, let's say, in this niche, you could look for this niche as well. Another thing to do would be, let's say, if you are looking for another niche, maybe you can look at, let's say, wedding photography and see if you should be actually enlisting your business on Pinterest and if it is really worth your while to even spend time on this particular platform. So you can again filter by people and then start looking into what are some of the most established as well as newer accounts and see what is the kind of reach that they have and whether or not it is worth it. So this account here is, I think, just an inspirational account. It's not really a business, and it has 129,000 monthly viewers. So again, the whole wedding theme in general on Pinterest is quite popular because Pinterest does have a majority of female users. But then again, as we saw in our top categories, men's fashion as well as men-related products are also trending and consistently growing on Pinterest. So I wouldn't discount that if you are a business owner. Of course, if you target women, then Pinterest is great. But also if you target men, it is not a bad platform to be on, specifically because you can organically reach a large amount of audience. So this one, I guess, is a local service provider and they are based in DC. And as you can see, they have 63,000 followers as well as 155,000 monthly viewers. So again, a good way to reach an organic audience that you instead would have to probably pay for on any other social media platform. So that's how you figure out whether or not your business is the right fit on Pinterest. So how exactly does Pinterest work for business? Now, Pinterest is a visual search engine, which means that the best way for your business to get discovered on Pinterest is by playing by the platform's rules and showing up as pins. Now, pins are simply put images with or without text on them that are usually linking to some kind of URL or website on the internet. Now think about it this way, just as on Google you need to be creating blog posts to get discovered, and on YouTube you need to be creating videos to get discovered, on Pinterest you need to be creating pins to get your business discovered. When it comes to what types of pins you should be creating, they're usually vertical pins in a 2:3 format, and they can either be a static image or they can be a video showcasing your product or service. Now I've made a detailed video on this, so make sure to check out that video in case you're interested in learning about the best practices for creating pins. Now the beauty of Pinterest really is that it is a platform that is designed for people not to stay within the platform, but instead to click out and check out other websites and businesses. This is in stark contrast to other social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram, which actually want their users to stay within the platform and spend as much time as possible within the platform. This means that Pinterest by design is a platform that is more suited for businesses to promote their offers compared to platforms like Instagram or Facebook. So as a business owner, if you're looking to leverage Pinterest, then you should be creating targeted pins that lead to your content or your blog posts or even your products or offers. Now on Pinterest, there are different types of pins that you can create and promote. So let me show you some examples of the types of pins that you can create to promote your business effectively. Alright, so the first image that we have is of a pin which is an article pin. So it's a regular image pin, which is the most common type of pin that you will see on Pinterest. It usually links to a URL here, as well as has a title and a pin description, as you can see. So you can see exactly what this pin is about. When you click through to this pin, you will be then led to the blog post or the article that is linked to it. So here's how Pinterest really works when it comes to linking your pins. The next pin, as you can see, is a video pin. So it can be linked to an article, it can be linked to a product, it can be linked to anything that has a URL on the internet. This is one of my own pins, and as you can see, it is basically a small video clip that plays. You can also show behind the scenes if you, for example, have a product, or you can show how a product looks like when you wear it as well. But in effect, it is pretty much similar to the article pin, just that it has a video here instead of an image, which is static. The next type of pin that you have is a recipe pin, which is also a pin that is something that describes a little bit more into detail exactly what this recipe is about. So as you can see here, you can see the number of reviews the recipe has, how much time it will take to cook that recipe, how many people it serves, as well as the ingredients that you need to create that recipe. So people who've actually created or used this pin recipe can actually then add photos to showcase exactly what it looks like when they cooked it or created it. Now, if you are in a food blogger or in the food industry, then this would be a great benefit for you to have, because once you have activated your recipe pins, then they show up like this, which is pretty awesome, because as a user, it is pretty helpful just to see exactly how this recipe is made in a summary format. The next pin that I want to show to you is an infographic, which is essentially a graphic with a lot of information on it. That's the simplest way to describe it. So as you can see here, this graphic is actually promoting a sandwich shop, which is pretty smart because you wouldn't normally think that a sandwich shop would be on Pinterest, but here you are, and it's an amazing way to create a graphic that links to their shop as well. And here's where you can showcase different expertise of either your product or your business Irrespective of whether you sell products or services, an infographic is something that pretty much every business that can create and benefit from. And then finally, you can connect a URL that you want that people should go to when they click through to this infographic to find more information. And then lastly, we have a product pin. So this product pin again is about a makeup fridge, which is a pretty cute thing that I saw for the first time while searching for this video. And again, you can see the price of this article is mentioned here. So product pins are also specific pins that you can activate on your account. And when you do that, then they will showcase more details about the product. You can, add reviews. You can click on shop on makeup fridge, and that will lead you to the website directly, to the e-commerce store. And then you can literally click through and add to cart. So as an e-commerce owner or as anyone who sells products, this is literally super, super helpful, because not only do you get to showcase your products for free on Pinterest, but you also get to directly drive sales without having to do anything else. Now that you know what these pins look like, the next question really is, so where exactly do these pins go? Now, these pins are saved first and foremost to your profile on Pinterest, much as it works on any other social media platform. And then they're also saved to your boards. Now, boards are essentially categories or topics that you can create to represent your business. So let's take, for example, that you have a home decor online store. So in this case, your boards could look like home decor ideas for kitchen, home decor ideas for living room, cushions, blankets, things like that. Now, of course, there are a few more things that you should be considering when you create your boards, and you can check out my video on how to create boards so that you can understand what are the best practices when it comes to creating boards for your business. Moving on, how do you actually promote your pins on Pinterest? Now, there are two main things that you can do to promote your pins as a business owner on Pinterest. The first thing that you can do is to create new pins of fresh content, because that is something that Pinterest has been pushing a lot over the last year, and that effectively means that the more fresh content you are able to provide to the platform, the faster your account will grow and the more traction your business will get on Pinterest. The second thing that you can do to grow your business on Pinterest is to optimize your pins for search. Now, this means that you understand something called keywords, which are basically words that your target audience might be looking for on Pinterest. Now, remember, we spoke about how Pinterest is a visual search engine, so these keywords should be optimized on your pins as well as on the descriptions that accompany your pins. Now, I have a full video on how to create epic pin descriptions, so make sure to check that out to understand exactly how this works. So when it comes to successfully growing your Pinterest account and your business as a result of it, the formula is pretty simple and it looks like this. First, create pins that are high quality. Second, optimize them for search. And third, make sure that you have a consistent promotion strategy on Pinterest. When you do these three things well, over time, you will start to see a lot more traction on your Pinterest account, which will then further lead to more traffic, leads, and sales to your business as well. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how to grow your traffic from Pinterest, you can check out my free Pinterest traffic course, and I'll link to that in the description box below. You can also check out these videos next to dive deeper into your Pinterest strategy for your business. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.